All right, guys, so I swapped over those U-joints, and I did film it, and I don't know what I did, but I wound up, I guess, either deleting it or actually not filming it. I don't know. I can't find the file. Sorry about that. So anyway, let me just show you what I got here, in case you guys don't understand or don't know what a universal joint actually is. So here's the drive shaft out of that Silverado. Now here is the front U-joint that was absolutely wiped out. What the universal joint does is it allows movement like this. Now this is the output end from the transmission. Now the drive shaft attaches to the rear differential. And what happens is, picture this being at this angle. This will rotate and allow it to keep moving and maintain power smoothly. So what happened was the actual joint itself, the bearings inside the bearing caps here, wore out. Now I have the cap here, just so I could show you, the cap and the joint. This is the one that failed. And those of you who know what you're looking at, you could see how worn that actually is. Let me focus in on that. You can actually see the wear. It took it right down, just where the daylight's out of it. And here, that's one of the good caps. So is that one where there's the failure cap. You can see how bad it wore that out. And you can see where it was supposed to be centered and actually moved over. It destroyed the cap. I've seen them wear out so bad that they actually will destroy that part, the outer part here where the cap actually sits. Luckily, this didn't do that yet. A little bit longer and it would have. I've seen them break these, and then, guess what? You either need a new yoke or a new drive shaft if you break this one, or you got to have the drive shaft repaired, and that's costly and time consuming. So what exactly is inside these things? Here you have these needle bearings. These needle bearings, they fit over here, and they allow it to spin and rotate. Now, a lot of people, when they put these on, they'll knock them out with a hammer, take a socket, put it to the inside here. This is a retaining clip. You got to take the clip out, and it has one on each end. You take the clip out, and on the one side, what people will do is they'll put a female socket that'll accept that cap as it gets driven through, and they'll use a smaller socket on this side and drive that one through. I don't like doing that. I rather use a ball joint press to do this. So I stick it in a vise, or stick the ball joint press in a vise, and I lay the drive shaft down, and I actually press them in and out. Now, when I do that, or the reason I do that, is because I've seen this. Here's all the little needle whirlers. All of them. Well, not all of them, but this is what they look like. These little tiny buggers. I've seen a single one from hammering these things. I've seen a single one fall and lay across the bottom. Now guess what? When that cap goes on, instead of sitting in that position, it sits in that position because it can't bottom out correctly. And now you got a problem. Now you can't get the thing in. Now, if you press that in or beat the snot out of it with a hammer, guess what? You just damaged that roller bearing or that needle. Now what? Now you go get another U-joint. I have extremely good luck using a ball joint press. I understand that not everybody has one. So if you're going to do it with a hammer and sockets, it's fine. Just be mindful of that. One last thing too. Let me show you. A lot of times people will put these together and see how freely this moves up and down. Sometimes it won't move freely. So what you need to do is you get a hammer and you hold this thing steady. You hold one hand on like here or one hand on here, and then you give it a brisk rap with the hammer. Just whack! Hit it nice. And what that does is it tends to shock and allow the release of the bearing cup. What happens is it actually gets bound up. The clevis here, whatever you want to call this point here, when you're hammering them or pressing them or whatever, they have a tendency to either squeeze shut or spread out just slightly. And when it does that, the holes will actually misalign. This hole will go like in that position, and this hole will go in that position. So it'll actually bind up the bearing that's in there. So wrapping it with a hammer real quick after it's all set in place, that'll free it up. It'll actually jar it back into position. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to install this dry shaft. give the customer a call and get this thing out of here. So that's about it. If you guys enjoy my videos, hit the like button. If you could, please subscribe. If you want to share my videos, go right ahead and share my videos. So that's about it for today. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you get something out of my videos. Keep wrenching.